A deal on Dickens, who could resist? A stack of Austen, warmly kissed. Golden Age crime tales twist and turn, every page a treasure to learn. Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea, reading always feels so free.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. I tried to do this video earlier and I just moved this light a little bit. I didn't particularly like how it turned out, so I'm going to try again and see if I like it better this time. We are now in November, which means that we are starting the second month of my Cozy with the, I'm looking over here because this is where my notes are, with my Cozy with Detection Club readathon that just started this year, hoping that it'll become a yearly thing. This is a readathon that I am running with my co-hosts and mom, Marlicia's Meanderings. I will be tagging her in the video below, as well as having basic rules down below and a couple of other links, but I'll go through that in a moment. This readathon runs October through December, and the idea is basically to read the traditional cozy mystery, or what I think a lot of people think of as the traditional cozy mystery, which would be the Golden Age mystery, a lot of them which were British ones. A lot of times they took place in like an English village or something like that. Most people do associate that, or as far, I think most people do. I know I do. I associate that with the Detection Club. And that is the focus of this readathon. So if I didn't say at the start, I'm pretty sure I did. This readathon is, that's why I'm calling it Cozy with the Detection Club. The reading of this kind of mystery is what brought me into booktube in the first place. I have been reading this kind of mystery for many years, I think it's actually over 25 years that I've been reading. I started with Agatha Christie, and I started watching March Mystery Madness videos. Actually, I watched some other mystery videos prior to March Mystery Madness for booktube, but March Mystery Madness was the first booktube challenge that I involved myself in, and then Christie's Missing, which occurs in December. And I'm already seeing at least one or two videos pop up kind of prepping people for the Christie's Missing readathon. So keep your eyes open for those videos. I'm not a co-host, but I take part every single year because I really love that readathon. But I wanted this readathon to run concurrently with that, so people who are taking part in the Cozy with the Detection Club can also like make that count. Like they can work that in with the Christie's Missing, so then they can just make their reading work for both. Double dip, for lack of a better term. But I wanted to run through the basic rules, tell you about the links that I have below, and then I'll run through what I read last month, what I am reading this month, and what I hope to start, hopefully this month, but at least in December. So, again, looking off to the side, because that's where my notes are. As I stated at the top, my mom and I are doing this together, and she's linked below. I have several links in the description. One is a link that'll take you to a blog post where I have all the rules and all their details, including links to the different Storygraph challenges, Father Knox's Decalogue, and something I particularly love, which is the induction ritual that the Detection Club would perform between themselves in order to be admitted officially, because you couldn't just join, you had to be invited, and then there was an initiation rite and all this. They were goofballs. And from what I understand, Dorothy L. Sayers was one of the major architects of this particular initiation rite, and it was still while G.K. Chesterton was president, so he would have been definitely have had an involvement in the forming of that. But anyway, so I have a link down below for the blog post. Then I have a link for the Storygraph Challenge for the 2025 Detection Club Readathon. So that way you can see how many of the potential challenges that you've partaken in. And then I also have another Storygraph challenge, which that's a continual challenge. And that has a list of most of the Detection Club members, particularly the ones during the Golden Age. And that is to make it easier to track which Detection Club members' books you've already read. Because I have a goal to want to read most of at least the Golden Age Mystery Detection Club members. So that link is below for people who also similarly like to track their reading of certain authors. And I just find Storygraph challenges as a particularly convenient way of doing so. Now the Detection Club, the Cozy with the Detection Club challenge, is the 2025 one, so I will have to create that one anew each year, for 2026, 2027, etc. Now, the one for that's just Detection Club, that doesn't have to do with the readathon, it's just Detection Club, that is a continual challenge, just like I said, so you can keep track of the authors. Okay, so going on to the rules. The basic challenge is read at least one work by a Detection Club member. That's it. That's all you really have to do to take part. Now, some other fun challenges that you can take part in regards to this readathon, if you kind of want to challenge yourself a little bit. Besides the read a mystery work by a Detection Club member, and I have 10 of these rules because of Father Knox's Decalogue. And talking about Father Knox's Decalogue, author breaks one of the rules of Father Knox's Decalogue, and I'll run through the Decalogue in a bit. 3, story is narrated by a Watson-like character. 4, story is a locked room mystery. 5, read a nonfiction book about the Detection Club or its members. 6, story has an on-screen adaptation. 7, story was a play adapted into a novel or is a novel adapted into a play. 8, read a non-mystery work by a Detection Club member. 9, read a Detection Club collab book. And there are at least, I want to say there's 3. There might be another one as well, but I know for certain 3. There's 6 Against the Yard. There's the Floating Admiral, and there's one other one that I can't remember the title for. And then 10, read something written by a Detection Club adjacent member, or a Detection Club adjacent mystery author. So these are authors that were either invited but did not join. Actually, I think it is just they were invited or considered but did not join. So these are authors like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Josephine Tey, Georgette Heyer, C.H.B. Kitchen, Margaret Erskine, Nigel Moreland, Nancy Spain, Maurice Proctor, and Andrew Garve. Once again, these details are in the description of the video, and I also have a blog post that has everything all in one place. Then I did promise I'd go into Father Knox's Decalogue. So apparently there were different people throughout the era who had their different rules of writing the mysteries at that time. But Father Knox's Decalogue, I think, is one of the more famous ones. And it was adopted as kind of like the unofficial / I guess kind of semi-official rules for the Detection Club. And various members broke 1 or 2 rules here and there. Agatha Christie, I know, broke at least 2 or 3. So, number 1 of the Decalogue. The criminal must be someone mentioned in the early part of the story, but must not be anyone whose thoughts the readers has been allowed to follow. I know Christie has broken that one. All natural or preternatural agencies are ruled out as a matter of course. Not more than one secret room or passage is allowable. No hitherto undiscovered poison should be used, nor any appliance which need a long scientific explanation at the end. No Chinaman must figure in the story. And apparently this was Knox's way of poking fun at thriller writers whose reliance on sinister Oriental villains had already become a cliche. So I guess these are characters like Fu Manchu. No accident must ever help the detective, nor must he ever have unaccountable intuition that proves to be right. The detective must not himself commit the crime. That one also has been broken before by authors I've read. The detective must not light on any clues that are not immediately produced for the inspection of the reader. The stupid friend, the Watson, must not conceal any thoughts which pass through his mind. Twin brothers and doubles generally must not appear unless we have been duly prepared for them. Now, I've read that one be semi-broken. You can argue one way or another if it was really broken. So those are the Decalogue's rules that one can, if their author breaks that rule and it's a Detection Club author, you can count it toward that part of the challenge. I think it's number 2 of my, recommended challenges. But there is a book out there, and I need to find it again, where the whole point of the book is to try to break the rules of Father Knox's Decalogue. And I need to find it again. I don't know. I came across it randomly on eBay one day, and then I lost it. And I need to find it again because I don't necessarily think it was Golden Age Mysteries, which might have been why I kind of let it go. But I thought that was a fun concept, that was their whole point, was to try to break his Decalogue. So now I want to go into what I have done for this readathon thus far. And I know that I have seen at least one video. I've seen a couple videos from Faith regarding this readathon. I haven't been watching as much booktube as I usually do, just because of being distracted and fatigue, and then just poor time management as well as reading. But I do want to go through some of the reading that I've done this month, because I've actually had a decent month's reading. Not my best, but better than I've had a couple months this year. So ones that I finished last month, I'm going to, let's see, I think the first one that I finished last month was by Father Ronald Knox. This is The Viaduct Murder, and I have a book review in the can for this one that I just need to finish editing and put up. So I will go more into this later. But yes, this is the first one that I read for the readathon. After that, I did and this one didn't, besides being a Detection Club mystery, I didn't meet any of the other challenges for this one. Now, next I read my first Georgette Hare, which was Why Shoot a Butler? And I also have a review that I need to put up for this one. This one counts for number 10 of the recommended challenges within the readathon. This is by a Detection Club adjacent mystery author. And I do have a review coming out about this one. I can mention, though, that I do enjoy Georgette Hare's work thus far. After that, I went into a Lord Peter Wimsey, just run of reading. I decided to start from the beginning, so I ended up starting with from this anthology. I started with the first one, which is Whose Body? And this has writing on the inside, which is always fun. This was given to someone during the Christmas of 1990, which is nice. And it does smell like old book. But I read Whose Body? I have a review pending for that one. And after that, and that was a reread for me. Another reread for me was the second one, which was Cloud of Witness, which is the first one in this anthology. And then the last Dorothy L. Sayre I read last month was Unnatural Death, which I also have a review pending for. This was also a reread. At that point, I decided that I was Lord Peter Whimsied out, and that's a Dorothy L. Sayers character. Now, challenges I might have met with that. Well, these are mysteries by a detection club member. Didn't break any of the rules of Father Knox's Decalogue. Wasn't narrated by a Watson-like character. Yeah, I don't think it actually met any of the recommend challenges except the first one. Now, this one meets number 10 of the challenge again, and this is Death in the Stocks. I read most of it during October, but because I ended up recording an unexpected booktube video with my mom, I didn't end up finishing it in October. I ended up finishing early in the morning of November. So I almost got credit for this for October, but barely missed. If I had had that like little hour slot, I would have finished it in November. I mean October. So this is the first of the Superintendent Hannasyde mysteries for Georgia Hare. And like I said, this counts as a Detection Club adjacent mystery author. I have not yet recorded the review for this one, but I do intend to do so soon. Now, for ones that I'm currently reading, I need to take a drink. I started, right after finishing Death in the Stocks, I started Behold, Here's Poison, which is number 2 in the Superintendent Hannasyde mysteries. Now, this is the reason why I got into wanting to read Georgia Hare to begin with. I mean, I'd heard about her, but I hadn't really intended to make a whole lot of effort. But it came up I'm part of a Goodreads group that's, I think it's just called English Mystery. I think it just has to be English Mysteries. And this year they were doing every other month challenging people to read a Golden Age mystery. And they would have a poll and people would get to choose. Now, there were a couple times when this one came up, but I knew that this month it would most likely be Behold, Here's Poison. That would end up being the read. So I knew I wanted to read the first one, Death in the Stocks, first. But this book actually led me to get, like I said, to get into Georgia Hare to begin with, because I had thought that in September this would be the read. So I was looking for the book. And first of all, I love the way this collection looks. I love this country house mystery collection. It's really pretty. It's got a really nice feel in the hand. And I love the size of the text and spacing. But besides liking the look and the feel of it, the first book I found looking for Behold, Here's Poison, I found Why Shoot a Butler first. And the title just caught my fancy. I was like, well, I'm going to read Why Shoot a Butler, which is actually a standalone. So I picked up Why Shoot a Butler and a couple of other Georgia Hares. And of course, the whole reason why I had gone looking for her in the first place, which was this one. And this is the Goodreads Readathon choice for the English mysteries group. So I am about 60% through. I find her to be a quick read. I don't want to talk too much about this because I will be doing a review when I finish it. But this is my current mystery that I'm reading. Now I do have one other current read for... I want to grab this book here as well. I have one other current read for Detection Club, which is The Gentle Art of Murder, the detective fiction of Agatha Christie. And I started this earlier in the year. I don't think I started it in December, although I might have. Now, I do think I should mention at this point that you don't have to have started whatever work that you want to read in October. You can have started it like a year ago. All I care about is that you're reading something Detection Club, or if you're following, the number 10 of the recommended challenges, something Detection Club adjacent. I just want to encourage reading the authors that are connected to this club of really cool mystery writers. So I don't care if you started the book a year ago, 10 years ago. If you're reading it now, that's all I care. So this is about Christy's writing style. I don't think I'm even halfway through yet. I've been marking this up. This is back when I was using 2 highlighters for each book. I've gone down to 1 just because it's easier than trying to make sure I have 2 highlighters with me whenever I'm reading, because I can just stick my highlighter in this and then I always have one with me. So this one I am actively reading. Now, what I hope to read, I'd like to be able to read this month, but we'll see. I'd like to start the Ronald Knox biography by Evelyn Waugh. I have my highlighter ready to go. I have the bookmark in here. I just have not gotten into reading it yet. And then the other one that I'd like to get going on, this is a bunch of short stories. I don't think all of them are Detection Club members, but I think a good number of them are. And by the way, in that blog post that I mentioned, there is a list of the Detection Club members and actually when they join, approximately. So let's see. Here's a story by GDH and M. Cole. I know that they were members for sure. Yeah, there they are. They were in the 1930 class, for lack of a better term. I think E.C. Bentley was as well. Let's see. Bentley. I know he was a member. Was he a little later than I thought? There's Berkeley. Oh, no, Bentley. He was in the early group. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nicholas Blake. Yes, there he is. He's in the 1933 and 1937 class. Then S.C. Roberts. I thought I saw him earlier. I don't think he was in the early class, though. Let's see. Okay, so S.C. Roberts might not be one. At a quick, running my eye through, I don't see him, but I might also be missing him. So then I have Philip MacDonald. Let's see. So it doesn't look like maybe everyone, because I don't see Philip MacDonald on this list. I knew going in that maybe not everyone in the short story collection would be a member of the Detection Club. S.C. Roberts. I don't, with a quick glance through, I don't see Roberts there. Now, A.A. Milne was definitely a member, which it'll be nice to read another mystery by him, because as far as I know, he only has the one actual novel, which is the Mystery of the Red House. Then I know Julian Simmons. I just saw that name a little bit earlier. I know I saw it. I can't remember which class. One of the later classes, I want to say. Julian Simmons. Maybe not quite as late as I thought. I know I saw the name earlier. Anyway, I'm almost like 100% sure that Julian Simmons is a Detection Club. I just can't find the name right now. And then there is Gladys Mitchell, who I know I saw earlier. Roy Vickers, I thought I saw earlier as well. the whole list is like I said, it is in the blog post. I know Christiana Brand is a member. I want to say I saw Michael Innes earlier. Oh, there's Julian Simmons. I know it's, and there's Vickers. When I'm not actively trying to find them, they pop up. Go figure. Okay. I want to say Edmund Crispin as well, although I think he's a later one. Vickers and Simmons were in the 1950-1959 class. I'm not sure when Crispin was. But yeah, so there are quite a few members of the Detection Club in this book. I know I have another one that has, other members in the Detection Club, but yeah, so this is Mysteries for Bibliophiles, Murder by the Book. So this will also count, especially if I finish the whole thing. And the editor, Martin Edwards, I believe is a current member of the Detection Club. I'm not sure when he joined. I don't know that I have him on my list. It was hard for me to find, a most up-to-date list of the Detection Club members. I had to do a lot of research to find the people that I did, so I'm not sure when Martin Edward joined. I'm pretty sure, though, he's the president of the Detection Club as of when this book was released, so not sure when he became the president, not sure if he's still the president. This was put out in 2021, 2022, though, so he probably still is the president of the Detection Club. I just don't have the most up-to-date list of all the members. So this is a club that's still going strong. So if people wanted to read more up-to-date Detection Club mysteries, you honestly could, because it's technically Detection Club. I happen to prefer the Golden Age ones, and I am encouraging that era. But if you can say, hey, this is a Detection Club member, and you can point to me where they had their membership, yeah, that counts. Doesn't matter if they joined in the original 1930 class or if they didn't join until, 2009. So I feel like Martin Edwards must have joined in the 2000s, since I don't see him in any of the earlier lists, as far as I can tell with my quick glance over. Anyway, that's my past reads, current reads, and hopeful reads thus far for the Detection Club. I do hope to get more in. I know when I get into December, I will be reading a ton more Agatha Christie. I'd like to read some, I think I have, let's see, who is it that I had set aside to hopefully read? I want to read some John Dixon Carr. I know, I'm looking at my list here. I want to read as well, and I have another, not Marjorie Allingham. Why am I losing her name? It's not Marjorie Allingham. It's, hold on. Christiana Brand, who was in the 1946-1949 class. But I have another Christiana Brand that I want to read if I can possibly get it in. It's called, I believe, Death of a Jezebel. But I don't know if I'll get it in this time around. I do have a couple of Christmas themed, collections I want to do in December. And I'm sure that there are some Detection Club members in those short story collections. So I do have plans. Anyway, at this point, I guess I should probably close this video. I'm very interested in what y'all might be. First of all, if you are taking part in the Detection Club readathon, and that would include, I'm not so far doing it this time around, but Antonia Fraser, who I knew first for doing history books, and I actually own a couple of her history books, including one on the Guy Fawkes, on Guy Fawkes Day, and on just the aftermath of that. She wrote on that, and I have that book as well as a couple of her other books. But I didn't know until I was doing research for this that she was a Detection Club member as well. So if you are an Antonia Fraser history book fan, you could use her for this and not have to read any mysteries. But yes, I think that's it for this. Please let me know below if you're taking part in this readathon, and if you have been taking part, what you have thus far read and what your reading plans are potentially in the future for this. Anyway, I think that's it for me for now. You have a very blessed day, and I will see you the next time. Bye.
Books keep coming home with me, piles so tall they're all I see. Turn a page and sail the sea. Reading always feels so free.